In business, there's three things that can make you more money. It's either you get more customers, you buy for less money, or you sell for more.
You're watching the Marketing Misfits with Norm Farrar and Kevin King.
How's it going, Mr. King?
Oh man, I'm alive and kicking, as my buddy Mark would say. Everything is good. Everything's good in the hood. How about you?
Good in the hood? Well, it's good in my little closet here. It's getting warmer outside, which is great. And today, this makes it great too, Kev. I got this incredible package of beard oil. I know you don't have a beard and you really don't care about it, but I know you care about packaging. And I got it from the Mammoth Beard Company. They don't even sell on Amazon, I don't think. I could never find them. I've got to order it from their Shopify site, but it's a company out of Alberta. I think they're in Calgary, and the packaging is incredible. The kids got it for me one year for Father's Day, and I've been going back to them ever since. And it's rugged, so it's all made out of wood. The packaging inside, great. You have your beard balm, your beard oil. There is a soap, and there's one other thing I forget right now, but it's all packaged together. It's not cheap, and they can get it like for just those 4 items or 5 items. Oh yeah, then you have the wax. Is $110.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beard oil is like in a little.
It's
like in a little spray bottle or something, right? Or is it like a little thing you dab?
The beard oil, yeah. So that beard oil bottle, it's upgraded. So you've got different types. You have the type that you just pour out. You have the dabber. You put a couple of drops on and then you rub it together. Or you have one that sprays out. Not sprays out, but it comes out a spout, and that's the kind that they have. But just the look, the whole brand, it just oozes rugged beards, and I guess they call it Mammoth because of that. But the colors that they use, the packaging, everything also is recyclable. So they've got that side of it. But just being able to receive something that weighs a little bit. So I bought something.
So if it's just a little 3-ounce bottle, I mean, what do you?
It's not even that. It's like a 1-ounce bottle.
What do you? So how I don't understand. Does the label just look cool, or is the package?
Yeah, the label looks cool. It's got a bloody mammoth on it.
Yeah, but I mean, you said that you're blown away by this package or this thing that you received in the mail.
The outer packaging. So you get it. It comes in a outer package. When you open it, it's a wooden box. So the wooden box is like a cedar, and I'm not sure if it is cedar, but it looks like a cedar, kind of smells like cedar, and it's got the brand. It's branded onto the box.
So it's like a wooden box. So it's like this little bottle, like one of those things that you could get through TSA or something. If you had one of those little like spray bottle kind of things, it looks something like that, but it comes nestled inside like an actual wooden box.
Right.
And that's inside another box, or they ship it in the wooden box?
No, they have an outer package, which is just like a brown corrugate. Then you open it up and you've got the package that comes out. And I forget, I think it comes in a bag when you open it up. So you get the regular shipping container, you open it up, it's in a bag, you take it out.
Like a velvet bag or like a plastic bag?
I think it's more cotton.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a cotton bag.
Like a nice jewelry bag or nice something like that.
Yeah, but bigger.
Okay.
And then you take it out. You have to. How does it slide off? The lid pops off, and no, it slides out. It slides out, and then what happens is, the products unveil. And it's super cool because they have this packaging on top of the product. So you have to move the packaging over, or the packaging material over to see the product. But you use all your senses.
Is there just one bottle in there, or is there a bunch of bottles in there?
No, there's 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
So, and what I love about this, not only does it look appealing, but you feel it. So when you pick up each of the products, they feel awesome. And I'm talking about when you spray the beard oil into your hands, when you use the beard balm, and it smells crisp, it's clean. The soap that they bring in is handmade, cedarwood soap, and it has that cedar type smell to it. But a second that you open and unveil these products, you can smell them. And it's tempting. You almost want to eat them.
Do you think someone's in there spraying? Is it the smell because of just the nature of the product, or do you think they're actually, before they ship each one, they're like, all right, Johnny, your job is like spray the lid and then close it really quick so that there's a little bit of an odor.
You could definitely do that. The bottles are sealed, so nothing leaks out. But I think the reason for that heavy smell is the aroma that you would get from the soap. So the soap it's a cold process soap and really unique kind of look to it. It's got a band around it. So it's open and it's exposed. So you could never sell that in retail because it's open, but the box is already closed. You can have that. And the second that you open it up, the aroma of that cedar wood just fills the air. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talk about this smell. A lot of people don't actually think about, they think about touch or feel or looks, but they don't think about, like you said, all the sensory stuff, the smell.
Yeah.
I know I used to, in one of my business, we get a lot of mail order stuff and we sell stuff for men. And sometimes when they would send in their check or money order in a physical envelope in the mail, and this is some of the days before the internet was big, we'd open up the envelope and this perfume smell would come, just devour the room. And I think they thought there was like women opening up these things, and they were like trying to like make some sort of impression, or they would spray their letter or their order form with a cologne, some manly cologne. And then I would get it and I would open it up, and this nasty Old Spice smell would come wafering over me. I'm like, dude, come on, man. I look at the name. This is Johnny Smith. Oh, Johnny, you're desperate. Only if you knew that this fat dude's open your letter. It's not some hot chick opening the letter. So, but the sensory side of that, Mark, my buddy in another business, always said, hey, if we can figure out how to do sensory stuff online, scratch and sniff or something like that, or smell stuff online. And I think someone came out with that one time. There's like some sort of device, like a little USB stick, and it would have like a little, an ounce of liquid or somehow in it, like one of those aromatic diffusers. And
so smoke and cheap perfume.
So whenever you're visiting the site and something's going on, you would get this little puff or whatever of a smell. And I'm not saying it's always a pleasant smell. Some of it might smell like, I don't know, fish or something. I don't know. It was so this sensory stuff, but it's marketing, it worked. People like it. So like, but no, I get that sometimes too. There's other products that I get where there is a certain smell. You got to be careful because you can offend somebody. Somebody can be allergic or whatever,
right. But
when it makes sense, when you open the product, it feels real. And, it feels like this is something that it is real. So that's so on the sensory side. Are they inside the box? Or are they just nestled in there, like in a little holder? Or they have some sort of like wood chips that they're in, or some sort of like
exactly.
Or so it's kind of nestled in, so they don't move or something.
That's exactly what it is. So I think I probably, if it was up to me, I'd probably change it a little bit, but especially on the unveiling part, because you do have to push aside the packaging material, and it's like a crinkled paper.
Okay.
And then they have it all wedged in there. But I think they could probably do a bit better job with that. And also, if I were to do this, I'd probably have it where there'd be a piece of some sort of stylish paper introducing the products to you. I think that just that penny would make it that much more of a high perceived value. But it was good. And by the way,
how much does this cost? How much this box?
$110.
$110 US. Okay.
Yeah, 100. So it's sorry, that's 110 Canadian dollars. By the way, I'm in Canada. If you guys haven't heard my abouts or A's, that was 110 Canadian dollars. But even something, and going back to your sensory thing, do you remember? Now, this is before my time, I believe. I think it was in the 50s that this came out. It might have been in the 60s. But there was a type of movie that came out. There was only one movie that came out, and there was some famous actor. He invested in this. They had their premiere. The movie was pretty good, but they had to shoot the movie. So if they're walking past rose bushes, oh, you get rose bushes. If they walk past, and you get the cigar smell. But the problem was the opening and the closing, because when they put all the scents together, it was like vomit. I mean, because it never released. Yeah. It was just there.
Well, the Sphere, you and I went when we were in Vegas for the big smoke. The Sphere had just opened, and it was U2 at the time that was the resident. We didn't go actually see U2, but we went to actually, and I can't believe to this day you didn't even. When I told Norm we're going to Vegas, hey, do you want to go? I messaged him, do you want to go to the Sphere? He's like, the what? What are you talking about? I was like, dude, you don't know what this is? So he looked it up online. It's like, oh, it's that thing. Okay. Like, yeah, I guess we'll go. So I got some tickets, and when it's not a concert in there, you can go in, and they have this special movie that they've made that's inside. It's huge inside, and you sit in these seats. But you're talking about sensory stuff. The movie is just like, it's the biggest screen you've ever seen. I mean, it's like wrap around, round wrap around screen. But one of the things they do is what they call it, haptic motion or whatever. The chairs actually move. So if you're like watching the movie that's up on the screen, and let's say you're in a Jeep going through the Sahara, little rickety Jeep, your seat kind of feels like you're sitting in that Jeep bouncing on rocks or whatever. But the other thing I remember that very clearly, talking about the smell, is there was one thing there where I think it was raining. We were going through a rainforest or something, and they sprayed something down from the ceiling or right from above us that smelled like mist or smelled like rain. And I think it was a little bit wet. It's like a little smoky thing. You remember that? And so it was a total like sensory thing. And every seat has speakers in it, so you're not just listening to the big speakers. Like every seat, it's almost like earphones that aren't on you, right in the headrest behind the seat. But that's a total sensory experience, and it really does something. And people that can do that, like you said, with this what's called mammoth beard oil, you can really stand apart, and really you get people talking. You get people sharing that on social media. You get people, this is cool, I want to buy this again, or they're going to gift it to somebody. I mean, I can just imagine if I had a beard and you like sent me this as a gift, you'd be like, Kevin, did you get the package I sent? And I'd be like, no, not yet. It's like, oh, let me know when you get it. Or maybe I would just naturally get it and go, dude, that was cool. When I opened this thing up, the smell, the smell, and it was a really cool thing. And thanks for sending me. This must have cost $500 or something, and not knowing that it's $110. And I think that's something that a lot of people mess up on when it comes to packaging. There's so many people that we know that are in the e-commerce space, especially. When you're on retail shelves, packaging, you can argue that packaging makes a bigger difference because you have to stand out, in a sea of other stuff on the shelf. People are picking it up, looking at it, touching it, feeling it. You go into a liquor store, and there's all these different tequilas that are in the shape of the bottles in the shape of a guitar, or it's in the shape of the Texas of Texas, or the Texas flag, or whatever. Or it's the shape of a skull. And they're just trying, and you might buy that just because of the packaging. You're like, this vodka might suck, but this is a cool gift. It's cool to put on my counter, even if I never drink it, or to give to my buddy who's a goth dude or something. And you give them a skull vodka, and it sells. But I think a lot of people, when they have a normal product, whether it's a commodity or even something different, they're just afraid to spend on the packaging. They're like, that's just going to cost more money, and I got to charge more for it. But you can make a lot of money by just spending an extra buck or two. Sometimes even, $5 can add $50 or $100 to your sales price on packaging. I think you told me one time something about some knife or something you did. It's like, I forget what it was. It's like $20 knife, and y'all just made a change in the packaging. You sold it for like $100 or what was that?
More than that.
Yeah.
More than that. So
Tell them about that. That's a pretty cool story.
yeah. And by the way, before I get into that, talking about competition and USP, check out beard oil. You'll either have them in a little tins, those are the bombs, or you'll have them in a bottle, and they all look pretty much the same. There's no difference. And so setting themselves apart, like just by packaging a little bit different or creating a different bottle, like even an airless bottle. Nobody's done that. Nobody's ever put a beard oil in an airless bottle. And just because you switch over to that airless bottle, you'll probably get $10, $15 more.
Now, are these people, as these mammoth people, are they showing the packaging on their site? Or is it's a surprise?
It's a nice site.
It's a surprise when you get it. Does it just look like, here's the beard oil with some
No, I don't know if they do a great job
sitting on a counter, or do you actually see? Or is the packaging more of a surprise? Because there's always something to surprising somebody when they get
absolutely
when they look. Okay, everybody's got this beard oil in a bottle, like you said, and all right, I'm ordering it because I think it's good, looks good. I've heard good things, good reviews, whatever. And then when they get it and it's in a package, like you said, that they totally did not see that on the website. They're totally not expecting it. It's like an extra gift. It's like an extra surprise. It's like a holy cow, I had no idea. And it's almost like reassuring to yourself, like, I made the right decision. I'm proud of myself. I chose the right one out of all these that look kind of similar. And then it starts that progress, that path of them becoming a regular customer and buying as gifts and referring to other people and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to remind, I don't have any beard oils. I don't sell any beard oils, but that's an idea. Put it into airless bottle.
Yeah.
And yeah, there we go. You want to invest in something?
What's airless bottle? What's that mean? Is that what's airless bottle mean?
It's a pump that there's no. It's what it is. You've probably seen them with some higher end lotions, perfumes, colognes, lotions, especially skin lotions, high end. You just hit the top and a specific amount of lotion comes out, and there's no pumping. It's just you tap it and it just comes out.
You have to have like power for that? You have to have like, does it have like a little battery or something, or USB?
No. It's just a bottle. Usually you'll see them
just using physics somehow to where you don't have to like press it down and it pops back up to spray something. You just touch it or something.
Yeah, you just touch it. A little bit of pressure. You'll normally see them. They're either acrylic or glass. They have a top that's usually flat, and then you just press down on it, and then the lotion will come out by itself. You're not sitting there going,
okay.
You know, for those that are listening on the podcast, it's my fingers going up and down. So this knife thing, this is
was this your product, or was this a client you were doing?
No, a client came to us.
Okay.
And product wasn't selling that well. And so
what kind of knife are we talking? Like a kitchen knife or a pocket knife?
No, it's a kitchen knife. It's a Damascus steel knife, high-end 67 layer steel knife, and they were selling it short. So if you go on to, and this is really important, whenever you're even going to price out something, know where your competition is. And usually on Amazon, I'll see 3 different price points. The lowest, the competitors, is all just product cannibalization. They're doing it for nickels and dimes. And a lot of new sellers will compete because they think that they have to be really low priced. And that's completely wrong. Then you have your secondary tier, and then you have your top tier. So I'll give you a quick example, Kev. Dead Sea Mud, you can get it on Amazon for $7 to around I think it's $14 is that first tier. Then there'll be a couple of other stragglers. Then you're going to see $24 to $44. And then there'll be some other stragglers. In the high end, you're going to be getting at $75 to $95. Now, not only is there a huge price break, but the size. Most of the time, you're going to have a plastic, crappy, just standard package, 8-ounce to 16-ounce Dead Sea Mud container. But if you take a look at the ones that start to brand in the middle tier and the upper tier, now they're completely different listings, and you can see the perceived value. You wouldn't pay anything for the lowest tier, and the highest traffic is going to be in the upper middle tier to the top tier. low top tier. So what I try to do when I'm looking at what I can get, and I did this with the knife, is I said, you're selling this short. First of all, your packaging sucks. He put this beautiful knife into a clamshell. So, plastic with a cardboard backing.
Mm-hmm. Something like you would see at the dollar, say hanging on a rack at the dollar store or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just crap. And so I took it and I used it, and it was a fantastic knife. And so the more he was telling me about it, I'm going, what are you doing?
I didn't know you cooked.
Not me, my wife. I just watched. I observed. And then I ate. I didn't get the size from,
You're just a dude who likes to eat.
eating.
I know. You're just like,
exactly.
Eat. She cooked.
You and me both. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the packaging sucked. So we recommended, look, let's just do a quick rebrand. Let's put this, let's change the name. Let's put the logo acid etch on the knife. It looks nice. Not too big. We put
like
in
the logo or the text to make it look kind of Japanese or German or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Known for knives, those two places.
Yeah, exactly what we did. So we made it more of
which one, Japanese or German?
No, it was Japanese.
Okay.
So for this, it was a Japanese steel. And then even in the rivets in the knife, we put their logo. So it's just a minor, it didn't even cost anything to do this, but we were able to put their symbol, their logo in the three of these, which was pretty cool. Nobody else was doing it. But for the packaging,
could you even see it?
All we wanted.
Could you even see the logo in those little rivets?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Came out perfect.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we it cost us a couple of bucks. It wasn't even that. It was like $1.75. So more than what he was already being charged. So it was the outer box was a corrugate. Okay. But it was like an iPhone box, and it was white. On the one side, it had a shadow, just a silhouette. And on the other side was a 4-color process picture of the knife. It looked really sharp, high-end, beautiful photography. And then on the inside, we went to a hard, rigid packaging, a magnetic closure with a clasp. So you have to open it up. And then when you opened it, it had a message from them.
Was it like on a rice paper, like the message, like on a little, or the message
no,
was on the top of the box? It was like inside,
on the top of the,
embossed inside the lid or something.
Yeah. So when you opened it up on the hard, rigid cardboard, there was the message.
Okay.
And it looked nice. It was in gold. We even chose the colors. There was black, gold, and red was some of the colors we wanted to bring in for the Japanese influence. But the second part is we didn't want people to see the bloody knife. We wanted them to have that anticipation, like the iPhone. So it's the packaging. Then the second packaging is click. Now they're looking at it. They're reading the message. There was an insert there, and then they'd have to remove that. And then there was a covering, like a rice paper. Mm-hmm. And then they unfolded that, and there was the knife. And the knife was there. If you're in any light, it glistens. It's beautiful. You can see the layers of steel. And then you take it out of this. By the way, it was embedded into EVA foam. So it was a perfect laser cut EVA foam. Didn't cost much at all. So we ended up selling that. It sells right now. You can get it on Amazon, $99 to $124.
What was it before?
Our cost.
What was it before? When it was
$49.
$49 when it was in the little plastic.
Crappy little.
Okay.
So we spent I think it was $1.75 for everything, and so their cost of goods was $16.
Plus a buck, plus call it $2 now, just to round it up, make it easy. So now it's $18 with the new package.
Yeah. And so we got it out onto Amazon. It started to sell way better than before. No traffic was really lost. He was fighting with these crappy Chinese, for the most part, they were Chinese knives. And they were selling between $19 and around $54. And you can see them all day long there. So I got them out of that pricing tier, put them in the second pricing tier, because there was a third pricing tier that was higher. And this is where this led. I went back to the manufacturer and I said, do you have anything else like Damascus steel, but anything else, a high-end knife? And the manufacturer came back and said, yeah, we can hammer it. It's the same cost, $16.
What's that mean? What's
I'm
hammering
looking at
it?
it
What's
going,
hammering it mean? Like make it like aged looking or something? Or
yeah,
like
if you
heated or what?
ever if you've ever seen a knife that's got like little dents in it, right? It's from just the manufacturer hammering the steel. And it's got this whole different look. Beautiful, beautiful. And it's also a higher perceived value. So we put a different blade on,
Does it
or
look like
different
it's
handle
like
on it.
handcrafted by the guys sweating over a fire or something like that?
Exactly.
Okay.
And the difference here was we decided to call this a premium knife. So this was the elite. Okay. And
no different than the one that's
packaged
selling for $99.
No.
But
None.
just hammered. So it's the same knife,
Hammered.
same. Okay. And then you're like, okay, this is the premium version.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then we, instead of having the white with the silhouette, we went to a black with the silhouette.
Because black
And,
has higher perceived value, black and gold than white.
Yep, that's exactly the colors: black, gold. We had some red and yellow, just a bit, for the logo. But it was the elite. And then when they opened it up, we spent $3 on a beautiful wooden case, and it was the same thing. When you opened it up, now it was etched, the message, and you had I don't know if it was a silk, but it was wrapped in something really nice. Again, you had to unveil it. And then when you take it out, it was just beautiful. Like everything about it just oozed quality. That one started at $224.
For the same $16 knife, just by, so you went from a $49 knife that was in a plastic, whatever you call it, with a
Clamshell.
Clamshell with the paper behind it, to just spending $2 on better packaging, sold the same damn knife for $99, and then you took it, beat it, and put it in a wood case. They cost you another $3. So now we're talking like $5 on the packaging side, or somewhere around in there, maybe a little bit more. I'm sure the hammering added a little bit, maybe added $1. No, nothing to the cost. Okay. So now we're at a $21, $22, something like that landed cost, and you sold that for 10x, like $220, you said.
$224.
Which was
now I have
the best seller out of did you keep selling
the lower end? But the reason why I wanted to come up with that
$49 one.
No, the 99 to 124 was the killer.
Okay.
It was great. Now the other one, so the higher end one, the only reason why we came out with that is, a lot of people would say, oh, that's too much, $124. Well, the market that we were talking or that we were targeting, well, these people love to cook.
Like chefs.
They love to cook.
Chefs.
Yeah, we matter of fact, part of the marketing was we sent these to culinary schools and to chefs, and we got them to do user-generated content. They sent us recipes. So I'm going to tell you about that in a second. But the reason why we went to the higher version is if you take a look on Amazon, Amazon.com, you'll see that much higher end knife from that $150 to right up to $300-$400. So we went right in between, like the lower end of the higher tier, and came out with $224. Now, we didn't get as many sales. The other one didn't drop traffic at all. We continued to sell. It was doing great. And we decided that we'd come out with a cheaper knife. So this knife was just a carbon steel knife, and you see them all over the place. But these knives we put out at $49, where the other ones were selling like at the bottom end were $19, and we came out at a higher end, and those were just like $3 or $4. So yeah, and those sold like hotcakes. And now there's a whole line of knives that we've brought out.
Wow. I mean,
yeah. And by the way, so the other part to this marketing is getting the person to come over to the website. So we created a lifetime warranty. All right, so that's good. But what we did with the marketing of like going out to all these chefs and the culinary schools is we got them to provide us with recipes. So these are all over the world. So they gave us enough recipes for the first cookbook, then the second cookbook. When you registered and gave us your email, get where I'm going.
Yep.
They got they ended up getting their cookbook, and this wasn't my idea. This was the brand. They said, why don't we do a meal plan? And every week we'll send them their like week 1, January 1st. And they continued to do 52-week meal plan. And they get very detailed in it. They tell you how to, like everything you need, the recipe, what you need to buy exactly at the grocery store. So we also got the email, and the email is gold for marketing.
Mm-hmm. That's really smart, man. That's really smart. I had a similar story. I was, you might have heard this before, but I was doing, have you ever, has your dog ever eaten a penis of a cow?
God, I could go so many places with this, but I do.
I hope you haven't. Has your dog ever eaten the penis of a cow?
I can't say. I don't know. Maybe he has. I don't know. Maybe he does things when I'm not looking.
Well, you might have given it to him and not actually realize it. A lot of people don't realize that one of the most popular treats out there for dogs, it's called a bully stick, Bully stick, is actually the penis of a cow. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
There's Norm. There's 6 inches and there's 12 inches, and you can't tell by the hoof size of the cow which one you're going to get. You know, like and they always say, guys, you know, look at their shoe size and you know the size of something else. But on the cow, you can't. You don't know. No, but seriously. So this is a market. I had no idea either. I fed my dog when it was a puppy some bully sticks, and I was like, okay, they love it. They chew on these for a long time. So when I was looking, I wanted to get in this pet space, and I started a pet brand called Wag House. And I was doing dog bowls and doing, I want to get in some treats. I want to get in something that was a continuity where people can, you don't just sell it one time, you sell it over and over. And so I was like, what can I do? So I started looking at some different treats, and I was like, I need to differentiate, because all business basically is about innovation and marketing. Those are the two most fundamental things that matter in any business, no matter where you're selling products or services or yourself or whatever it may be. Those two are what matter. And so I was like, how can I innovate something? And how can I outmarket other people in the dog space? And so I started doing some research, and this was Amazon. This is about 2015-ish, so almost 10 years ago. And I start looking, I see that this keyword, there wasn't a lot of tools back then like there are now. There's all kinds of really cool whiz-bang tools that you can figure out what's selling on Amazon, what's not, and what you should go after. But there's a couple tools, and I pulled up one of these tools. It doesn't even exist anymore, and the way they rank things is you would type in a keyword, it'd go do some sort of analysis, and then put these like big thumbs up, like a green thumbs up, or a big red thumbs down. So I typed in dog treats, and it gave me a list of stuff, and one was bully sticks with a big green thumbs up. And it said that there's a tool called like Merchant Words or something. I don't even know if it still exists. Their data was nowhere near correct, but it told me there's like 3 million searches a month for this. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm like, I got a big green thumbs up. I'm going to look at bully sticks. So I started looking at all the competition selling bully sticks on Amazon at the time. And pretty much everybody's doing the same thing. They've got a plastic bag, like a see-through plastic bag. And inside the plastic bag are like 25 or 30 bully sticks. So the idea is you give your dog one of these a day or something, and gives them something to go run away and jump on the couch or go crawl up in a corner and chew on, and keeps them busy, and they love it. Or they go bury it in the backyard and eat it later, whatever. And I'm looking at it, it's like, how do I differentiate this product? I mean, I don't want to just be another guy selling these things, these same old bully sticks. So I call around to several people that figured out who can make bully sticks in the U.S. I read the reviews, and people are complaining about a few primary things in the reviews of all the competition before I launched my product. They're saying these things stink. When the dog's chewing them, the house smells. Well, you can imagine why. It's the penis of a cow. and some of them aren't cleaned so well, so it smells like piss. And I'm like, people are complaining about that. So another one is people are complaining like, where's this meat from? I don't trust this. Is this meat from China? Is this meat from South America? I want US meat. I'm like, okay, that's another big thing people are complaining about. Another thing people are complaining about was when the dog would jump up on the couch or something and start chewing it, it would stain the couch, a little bit of liquid or something, either from the dog's drool that's tainted by the skin and stuff on it.
Blah.
It would stain the couch, and people were complaining about that. It's like, all right, here's my three things that I got to solve. And so now there's AI tools that will lickety split tell you a lot of this kind of stuff, some really cool AI tools. But back then I had to spend like a week, like making little charts in Excel and like, okay, tick mark, reading through all this stuff. You can do it in a matter of minutes now. But it was, so I was like, how can I differentiate this? So I called up some manufacturer. I think they're in Utah or somewhere. And they said, yeah, we can do these things for you in a bag. I said, no, I want something different. What's the most unique thing you've ever saw at a show or seen out there? And they said, oh, you got to talk to, I'm sorry, I forget the guy's name. You got to talk to David. He's in the New England area. I'm like, all right, I'll talk to David. So I call up David. They gave me his number. And I said, hey, David, this is Kevin. Interested in doing bully sticks. Like, oh, you can't afford me. I'm a specialty. I got a little shop here. I got a little warehouse in the back. I'm a classically trained French chef. My sticks are all organic. I only use U.S. cows. It's expensive for the U.S. meat. You can get cheaper stuff somewhere else. You're going to be selling this online on Amazon. You can't afford me. I was like, well, send me some samples. And let me take a look. So he sends me these samples, and these are big, thick, honking sticks. These are like every cow's wet dream for a bull. I mean, they're like big old sticks, and all the ones on Amazon are like little straws. And so I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And he's like, yeah, it's an organic process. It's 15 steps that I go through to do this. There's no smell to them. I held it up to my nose, and the smell. There's no smell to it at all. My dog chewed it. House was fine. There's no leakage. He says it was U.S. cows. He had the certificates and everything for it. I was like, all right, look, all three pain points are solved. Now, how the heck am I going to sell this thing? How am I going to sell I was like, what's the price on these things? And he told me, I forget the exact price, but 3 of the 12-inch sticks was something like $15 or $18. I'm like, wait, 3 sticks is like $18. I can go buy 30 sticks on Amazon for $30. How the heck am I going to freaking market this thing? How am I going to sell this thing? And he's like, oh, that's your problem. I told you couldn't afford me. I'm a specialty type of retailer. I said, let me get back to you. So I started looking around. I was like, all right, here's how I do it. Most people, their pet is like their child. So there's people out there that, for some, their dog is a farm animal. It stays outside. They don't care. Give it the scraps, whatever. But there's enough people out there that their dog is like their little kid, and they have money and they're willing to give their dog the best. So these are obviously the best bully sticks I've ever seen. How can I position these without people holding them in their hand, without them seeing that? How can I actually make these so that people will buy them on Amazon when there's way cheaper options? Their perceived value is much higher because you get 30 sticks. So I came up with the idea to put these in a cigar box, just like you're talking about that wooden box. So I went and found a manufacturer. This guy was in New England. I found a manufacturer that was in the Brooklyn area. So it's close by. Didn't have a big shipping cost or anything, that could actually make me these custom cigar boxes. And so it's like, that right there will instantly say these are quality. We're talking about smoking cigars in one of the other podcasts. There's a perceived value. There's $100 sticks. There's $10 sticks. That's my customer. The guy that can afford those $100 cigars, he's gonna spend some money for a treat for his dog. And so I came up with that. Then I was like, okay, the label that's going to seal the box, needs to have a texture on it. Can't just be like some white seal or clear see-through seal. So I found this company in Colorado that could do these really textured labels. So it almost like feels like Braille or something when you rub your finger over it. It has this texture, this high-end texture. And so that's going to be the seal of the box, and has a little emboss and stuff on it. And these labels, I think they cost me like 30 cents a piece or 40 cents a piece. And the cigar boxes were a couple bucks a piece, $2 or $3 a piece. I also did a 6-inch version. So the 6-inch version was 5 sticks, and the 12-inch version was 3 sticks. And then when they got it, there was a little sheet of paper inside that, like a little clear, like one of those when you get a nice presentation for someone's resume and it has that little velvety paper or whatever, it's kind of like frosty looking, that covers it
Yeah.
up. So that was inside with the logo kind of faintly on it, just to paint a picture. And then I put them up on Amazon. Now, how am I? And I priced them 3 sticks for $54.95. So my cost on
What was your total cost of goods?
in there are about $21, $22. And back then, Amazon's fees weren't crazy like they are now. So
Right.
Amazon was taking about $15 or so in fulfillment fees, and so I had about $20 margin, $15 to $20 margin, somewhere in that range. So that would work. I could make those numbers work. And back then, PPC wasn't crazy, so the math worked. Today, those margins wouldn't be enough, but then they were. And then the box of 5 was $49.95. And so then I said, well, nobody's going to buy my stuff. They're going to look at, here's all these products on Amazon that are 30 sticks for $30, and here's old Kevin selling his 3 sticks for $54.95. That dude must be out of his freaking mind. There's no way I'm going to spend that money for it. I don't care how that looks like it's in a cigar box. Whatever, dude, you're crazy. And I got a few comments like that and reviews like that.
Yeah.
But what I did is on Amazon, this Perry Belcher, actually, I think it's the first person that says this. People don't buy, even online. It's not just Amazon, but especially Amazon. People don't buy products; they buy pictures. That's stuck in my head. I'd heard him say that. I was like, all right. So they can't touch it, they can't smell it, they can't feel it, they can't do anything. Their dog can't try it. They're not in the store to hold it to the dog's nose to see if he likes it or not. How can I convince them that they should spend $54.95 for 3 sticks? So I created a listing that was amazing. The listing had I showed the differences between mine. So I had a classically trained French chef that was making these. Remember, so I emphasized that these are handmade by a classically trained chef. So I had the dogs in one of the picture wearing little chef's hats, in the treat in front of them, the dog kind of smiling. I showed another picture of the split screens. So one of them was, here's a machine. It looked like some nasty machine in a third world country spitting out little sticks. I was like, them. And then the split screen and the other side of the screen was us. And I had a guy, you see a hand of a nice chef, and you see just the top of the hat, and he's carving it by hand. And so ours are handmade, theirs are made on this machine. And then I showed they stretch theirs. So theirs are hollow because they stretch to get more meat. They stretch the meat, and so it makes them hollow when they cook them. And mine are not hollow. So I showed like the ends of the stick. This one, look, it looks like a straw. You could suck through it. Mine are full. And I showed another picture, a cross picture of how theirs would stay in the couch and smell, someone holding their nose as their dog was like right in front of them eating it. And I showed another pleasant picture on the other side of mine. And then I had cartoons made. And so I found this guy on Upwork, a guy and a girl. I had 2 people do it because I wanted 2 different perspectives. I gave them the spec, and they did cartoons for me. And the cartoons, I told them what one of the scenes I wanted was, I want a bunch of dogs in a car driving through like a McDonald's drive-through. So you see this dog behind the wheel with his paws on the wheel, another dog in the passenger seat, and they've got the window down there, and it's like McDonald's drive-through, and you can see the menu there, and it says like $1 stick, hollow sticks, cheap sticks, made in China, whatever, and they're ordering their sticks. And then the cross screen of that, the split screen, was a bunch of dogs sitting around a table in a really nice steak restaurant with their paws on the table, and another dog, it looked like a maitre d' with a nice silver tray with all these like really nice sticks on it, giving it to them, serving them. And then I did some additional imagery as well. I showed the real weight. So I had a scale, and I took a picture of it actually on the scale with it. I mean, you could have photoshopped this, but it was real, just to show people these are what they weigh and what the other guys weigh. So you're getting value. And I put them out on the market. I started selling like crazy. Now, on the big keywords like bully sticks, it's more of a generic keyword. It was hard for me to compete because people that just want bully stick, they just want cheap stuff. But there's other keywords and other ways people were searching, like bully sticks made in USA, bully sticks no odor, bully sticks no mess, premium bully sticks, all those like more longer tail keywords, I could rank really well on Amazon and maintain the position. So that's what I went after, was those keywords, and I was able to maintain the position and sell. I had Subscribe and Save, which is Amazon's automatic ship you every so often program, and I had one guy on there get like 74 orders. People raving about it, comments like, "Oh, these are the best ever. My dog loves them." You get the occasional negative comment, "What a ripoff! This is a scam. I only got 3 sticks." But there was so few of those that the good ones would push it down, and it became so doing so well that the biggest manufacturer in the space, which was called, I think they're still the biggest, Best Bully Sticks. They're out of Virginia. One of
Hmm.
their reps that was handling Amazon stuff saw what I'm doing. He's like, "No way! How is this clown selling 3 for $54.95? We got our bag at 30 here." But the guy's selling them. It's not like it's a one-off thing and it disappeared from the rankings. He's selling them. So they call me up and they say, "Hey, um, we want to partner with you. We want to do a whole line of treats with you. We got duck feet, we got antlers, we got uh, you know all this other type of stuff that we could sell." So we work out a deal. So, well, if you give me terms, cash flow it, and I don't have a ton of cash, be buying all this stuff and expanding that. No, don't worry, we'll work with you. So we worked out a deal, and I was like, well, I didn't spend the money on these the packaging. I said, I know I can't put them in a plastic bag like everybody else. So I found like some brown craft bag with a little window on it. It was definitely a step up, and started marketing these treats. But I just couldn't market them the same way because I didn't have all those elements of the chef and the imagery and the quality and everything. They were just more of a little bit more of a commodity product. So it was a little bit harder to market them. And so those actually, most of them didn't work. But
Mm.
my one where I actually differentiated it with premium packaging, premium messaging, premium marketing, actually I was able to sell that for like 2.5 years. I quit selling it because the price of meat went up, because around
Yeah.
that time China was buying a lot of U.S. beef because they having issues in their country, in like 2017, 2018 range, somewhere in there. And then also Amazon started increasing fees, and so that margin compressed a little bit. But I was able to have a good run with that. But that's just a lesson there, similar to what you were saying, and how packaging and positioning and marketing is critical. Whether you're selling this on Amazon, you're selling it to stores, you're selling it on your Shopify site, it doesn't matter. It's people perception is reality in marketing. It's what people perceive it to be versus what it is. And then if they perceive it to be one way and you deliver, actually, if you over deliver is even better. If you over, that's why I asked you earlier about the beard oil. Did they show the package in their photos on the website before you ordered, or was it a surprise when you got it? And I always remember that back in the day of video, I used to run a video production company, and we had to buy, this is before digital, we had to buy those big Betamax tapes, to put in the video
Yep.
camera, because we were shooting like television quality stuff. And we would buy them from this company in Pennsylvania that had the cheapest deal. It's better than buying them locally. And these tapes, these beta tapes, I don't remember, they're 40, 50, $60 each for like an hour tape, or 30. They're expensive, blank. But every time they would send something to me in the mail, as long as it wasn't summer. So as long as it wasn't like, I think from mid-May to about mid-September, they didn't do this, but the rest of the year, I would get 2 packages of M&Ms. So I'd have my shipment of, here's your case of 10 Betamax tapes that I just spent $600 paying them for. And inside the box, on top would be a little handwritten thank you note with a copy of the invoice or packing slip, little handwritten thank you note that would say, "Thanks for your order, and enjoy your sweets." And it was 2 of these little, like, they're like Halloween size. It's not like a big one you get at the local convenience store. They're
Mhm.
like little Halloween size that you give to kids, but they're M&Ms, one regular and one peanut. And I always remember that's the first thing I wanted when I went and opened that box. Like, someone in my office opened it, like, where are the M&Ms? I always wanted those M&Ms. They didn't ship them in the summer because they said they would melt. But that little thing
Yeah.
was a surprise the first time, and then I came to expect it. That didn't cost them squat to do that, but just that little act is marketing, and it's thinking outside the box and doing things. There's plenty more examples, but those are just a couple I wanted to share there, that if you start thinking differently and start really crafting the right message and the right perception, and then over deliver surprise and delight, and you'll be surprised how far that goes.
I think of, and I know we talk about this a lot, but cigars.
Mm-hmm.
If you take a look at your typical or your average cigar, $4 to $10, and the cases that they come in, and then you take a look at the cases. Let's just
Year of the Dragon comes in.
Yeah, take a look at that.
I want to keep that case.
Yeah, I mean it's that cool.
It's a display. I mean, the thing is empty, and it's still in my house on the shelf.
Yeah, I hope there's some cigars still in it. These are the ones that are, what are they? 100 plus for the Year of the Dragons?
Like 100. What were these were this special edition ones? They're 125, $150 or something like that per cigar.
Yeah,
I think there's 12.
And you get a nice box. There you go.
Yeah, you better get a nice box for that. Another just quick example on packaging is that you look at. There's a lot of the big brands, the luxury brands do it, and you don't have to be a luxury brand to do this. But look at Tiffany's. What are they known for? The blue box,
blue box,
the little white ribbon. You look at Louis Vuitton. Whether you go in there and just buy a tie, you're gonna get a freaking nice box that this tie comes in, a Louis Vuitton box. Any of the big brands that do that. In fact, my ex-wife used to save all of her Louis Vuitton, Tiffany boxes, Gucci boxes. Whoever, all these big brands, because they're nice boxes. And we had 2 Christmas trees in our house every Christmas, and it's just us, so there weren't a lot of gifts. But to decorate the Christmas tree, under each tree, you might remember this when you were here in December, the tree that we used on stage, it's all these like Louis Vuitton, Tiffany's, Gucci, all these like Valentino, all these like boxes that are actually the presents under the tree.
Yeah, you pissed me off a little bit during the Secret Santa. You gave me this Louis Vuitton box, and I really felt bad because I really just gave you a bar of soap, and I opened it up and there was nothing in it. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. But that's packaging. I have actually tub in my storage room, my garage. It's just full of actual boxes because they're so cool that they've been kept and used as props, under a Christmas tree to fill it out and make it look pretty cool. But that's just packaging. Sometimes people just throw that stuff away. But I know my mom used to get boxes and she'd keep them if it's a nice box, and it became where she kept all of her sewing stuff, or she kept her letters or something in. So packaging is critical, and I think it's something that a lot of people just don't spend enough time on, or they're not willing to spend the money to actually differentiate. And we're not talking you got to go crazy, and you got to test it. Maybe if you spend that extra couple bucks, people aren't willing to pay $50 more or $30 more. But I bet you can make, even if you squeak out another buck or two, if it costs you $2 or $3 more, and you can charge $6 more, and doesn't add to your weight too much to your weight or to your dimensions or anything, it's not going to affect something else. That even $2 or $3 times, if you're selling enough of this stuff, that adds up.
I can give you just a quick example. I think everybody's getting it, but with packaging. So I sent my dad some non-alcoholic bottles, 4 different competitors. So I said, here's one. I didn't tell him who it was. So I said, I'm just going to send you 4 bottles. I want you to tell me which one is the 24 and which one is the $40 bottle. So he gets them and he's looking at them. All the bottles are attractive, but 3 of the bottles are in Amazon bubble wrap, and just bubble wrap. And they can easily be broken. The other one comes in this gorgeous box, and whenever you're boxing a bottle, you got to be careful. If you drop it, if it's not packaged properly, of course it's going to break. And that's why they use this bubble wrap. But they also use the bubble wrap around the box. Well, okay, Dad, what is what? Which is which? And he said, well, obviously the carton, a beautiful carton, is the $40 one. And then we just went down, and he didn't really get any of them right. But the interesting part to this is the $24 bottle was the one that was in the box. And they could have easily got a lot more for it. So it's just crazy how people think about the value of the products that they're buying. And that box, I know I priced it out for the company I was representing, and it was nothing. It was $1.45.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go, sometimes even if you go, like I've been to a liquor store where they had one of these, like, I don't know, one of these 1942 or something, one of these really high end tequilas or something, and the store has one that's in the box and one
Hmm.
that's out of the box. And even though I'm not really going to keep the box necessarily, or I don't really care about the box, I just want to drink the damn good tequila and with my buddies. Unfortunately, not you, but because you don't drink alcohol, but with other buddies, um, I I'll always take the one in the box, even if it's a few bucks more, just because in psychology you think that one is actually it's the authentic one, it's the real one, it's the official one, or whatever. Now, some people, they're just for a deal and they don't care. They'll take the one that's not in the box, but uh, for a lot of people, the packaging matters because when they take that home and they put that out and bring that out, they want their friends to see what a cool box is because they then have this perception or this, oh wow, we're in for a treat here. And you think on selling online it doesn't matter because people have already bought your product. What's it matter in store? Like we said earlier, they're touching it, they're feeling it. Maybe it is more important, but online, you say, who cares? Just put in some cheap cardboard from China. You get that cheap cardboard from China sometimes. It's like stinks. It's like
Yeah.
flimsy ass stuff. Um, they just put in that, cut your costs. And I'm like, you can do that, but what about the perceived value on the other side? And when people want to be reassured, they just spent the right money. Now, you might not do this for a $3 item or something, but for something that's worth $50 plus, or really more like $30 plus, packaging can make spending a little extra on the packaging can actually add a lot to the bottom line.
Yeah. And even on the cheap products, so let's say it could be a bar of soap, you could get a cheap gauge, like it's just a cardstock. And I'm just talking about the tuck box. So nothing more than that. You can get in some really cool stuff with soap, but just a very simple tuck box. Well, the perceived value could just be just one thickness more on the cardstock than it might be a couple of gauges higher, but the perceived value is so much higher when you're buying this soap, especially if it's like a handmade cold process soap, something that's a little bit different, artisan soaps. But I do want to tell you the remember I told you the story about Mammoth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. Well, there's the other side to it, Kev. Uh, I was on a podcast and I was talking and a package came in from me. So I open up this package and it's beard oil that I ordered. And I'm on the podcast doing this and I go, oh, I can't wait. Well, it came in this little burlap sack. And I guarantee you this was put together in a barn because it just smelled like crap. And you could smell it. Like it smelled like crap. It was a brown burlap bag, which immediately, you know how you preserved
Maybe
yours?
maybe it's the other part from my bull.
Maybe it was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it got tossed immediately. So, first of all, cheap product. I'll never buy it again. Just, okay, well, maybe, rash decision. Let's try the beard oil. So, I tried the beard oil, or it was the beard balm. I put it on and it had, it had an okay scent, but over a very like an hour long podcast, I think it was 45 minutes. My wife came down. The podcast is over. She goes, "Oh my God, that stinks. It smells like rancid fish." And I went, "It does." Like when I first put it on, I could smell a hint of cedar, but it was rancid. And so I went through and this is just an important point. If you're bringing product in, make sure you inspect it, but don't put it in shitty boxes and expect to get a premium price because it doesn't work. And I'll never buy that brand again. Just because of the way it came in, smelt like crap, and then the product was crap.
Yeah,
It was, yeah, complete opposite.
yeah, you got to be careful on your packaging. I mean, I had a similar thing happen during the pandemic. We were doing a hand sanitizer, and we were making this in Vietnam and China. But then we actually wanted to make wipes as well, and we couldn't find anybody that could make the wipes over there quick enough. Everybody's backed up on a huge backlog, I even called you because you have some connections in that space. And you're like, yeah, good luck. We can get you on the production line in 21 months or something like that. I'm like, well, screw you too, Norm. So I was like, I was like, I'm just kidding there, but it's like, no, Norm, I love you. Thanks for trying. Uh, but I was, so we ended up finding this. One of the partners was in the flooring business, and he had a buddy that was in Wisconsin that had a chemical company that made chemicals for staining floors and stuff, and he had to lay off like 35 people during the pandemic hit. And he's like, wait a second, I can gear this back up and make wipes. So we found a material that we could do it in, but we couldn't get buckets, and there's just no supply, and it's going to take forever to get them from China. So we had to go to a cardboard box. Now these weren't wipes that were like for home use; they were in a little small container. These are the only thing we could do was find these rolls of like the white paper that are like gigantic, like industrial size wipes. And then we found this guy on the East Coast that said he had the packaging for it. Like we need to put the liquid in a bag inside and protect it. And he said, "Oh, these bags are puncture proof. That you can take them, throw them like a football. They're not going to break. Don't worry about it." We got some samples in. We tested them. Everything was okay. So we went into production. We produced the first. We were producing truckloads of this stuff, like 53-foot trailer loads of this stuff. And these guys worked through the night. We produce it, we put it up on Amazon. They start selling like gangbusters, millions of dollars in sales pretty quickly. And then we start shipping them out. And we thought we had this really nicely designed box. We had this perfect inner packaging, especially considering the pandemic. And it was a cardboard heavy duty box. Then we started getting reports of people complaining online or sending us messages through Amazon at the time or our Shopify site. Here's a picture of the way it arrived. And the box is like arrived and the liquid had leaked. And so the whole right side of the box is like stained brown and it's all that crimply. We're like, you got to be kidding me. We just had this $90 product that we did all this testing on. We had this guy's assurances and they're freaking leaking in transit. And arriving to the customer looking like this. So we would immediately replace them, with a new box and just pray that it got there okay. And then I remember one time the national parks in the Arizona, they sent back 23 of their 25 boxes because they arrived damaged. And then another time a customer goes, they posted a review on our website, and it was like, I don't know what these crazy clowns at Germ Shark are doing, but I just got my package, and they packaged it in a black bag. And I'm like, what? What is it? So I was able to, I forget how I reached out to the person. I think they complained through customer service too, but they also wrote a bad review. So I reached back out to them. Well, I'm sorry, we don't ship in black plastic bags. We ship in a box. It's inside another box for protection. And like, no, these I ordered 3 of these. The UPS brought them today, and they stuck them on my porch. And they were in a black garbage bag, and it's tied at the top. And I had to open the garbage bag, and inside are your things. They had leaked. So UPS, instead of just throwing them away or filing a claim, whoever the UPS driver was or UPS warehouse, they just dumped them in a black garbage bag and still delivered them. And it was a freaking mess. So that was a challenge that we thought we had the best packaging and the best everything, and it blew up in our face. We ended up finding buckets, plastic buckets, and we ended up switching. We're scrounging everywhere, so we had to ship in these just because it's pandemic. But we ended up changing the bag manufacturer to one that actually did not leak, or leaked maybe 1% of the time. If they were playing football with these boxes or something at UPS, and then we ended up switching to plastic instead of the cardboard, and that pretty much solved the problem. But we couldn't get it. Supply chain we couldn't get it when we needed it originally. But that's an example there of how packaging can go wrong too. No matter how hard you're trying or how good it looks, it can be a mess. So that, it's just like when people got that black plastic garbage bag, the wipes inside still worked. They're still fine. They were able to use them. They said it. We're able to use them. But why are you shipping like this? But it's that when they get it looking like that, they're like, it's expectations, and I just waste. These were $90 a box I just spent $270 for a garbage bag full of wipes. It's not good. It's not a good thing. Packaging is vital, and that first customer experience, especially it's the first time with your brand, it's so crucial. Even if you don't want to do this all the time for everything, maybe on first orders you should at least dazzle them on first order. And you set expectations, and maybe you can cut it back a little bit on the second order. But I think, in my opinion, it's a major marketing differentiator, a major marketing thing that more people should be looking at to do. And how can I make my product stand out? How can I reassure them they made the right decision? And how can I surprise and delight?
Well, in retail, it's a pattern interrupt, right? You've got to stop them in their tracks, and you can do it through scent, smell if you're in the soap business, or packaging, the color of the packaging. Something has got to grab their eye. Just think about it. You go into a retail store, go into let's say in the skin lotion department. There's a ton of them there. Mm-hmm. They're all fighting for shelf space. And how do you get them to stop? It's going to be packaging. And the beautiful part about the packaging is the higher end packaging gets a higher end dollar. Now, I don't know. I mean, there's lots of packages out there that, wow, this is a beautiful package that this skin cream came in, or whatever the product is. And you just think, wow, I got a great deal. This was worth every penny. But you could bring it up to that next level too. So that company may not have thought about trying to increase their price. They might be stuck at a level. And I've got all sorts of stories that I can talk about where people have told me, you can't go over this price. And why not? Why not? And, they'll be like $10. You can't go over $10. Well, why don't we try bringing it up to $14? And I'm not going to get too much into this story, but there was a brand that we were working with, $9.99 was their cap. Changed the packaging around, going back to packaging. We ended up at $24.99. That's a story for another podcast. And I'm just thinking, Kev, we're over an hour now. It's been very informative. I love some of the stories you talked about. Never knew about bull penis before. Don't know if I'm going to ever feed that to my dog.
I don't feed them to my dog. After I learned what they were, my dog doesn't get them anymore either. Even though I had a premium one, my dog, after the testing round, and I figured out what this is, I'm like, I'm not so, no, let's switch to something else. But like you said, in business, there's three things that can make you more money. It's either you get more customers, you buy for less money, or you sell for more. Those are the only three things that you can do really to actually make more money. You either sell more to more customers, or you sell more to the same customer. You find some reason to raise the price while keeping the cost fairly similar, or you have to lower the cost and sell at the same price. Those are the only three ways to really make more money in business. And packaging is a crucial part of that I think a lot more people should be thinking about. And hopefully today we've given you a little bit of inspiration and shared a few real stories from our history that'll get you thinking, and you have some good luck on redesigning what you're doing out there. And if you do that, let us know. Go into the comments, go to marketingmisfits.co and send us pictures. If you redo your packaging after listening to this, we'd love to hear from you. Or if you've done it in the past, maybe you already did this, send us a before and after. This is what we did before, and this was after. This is what we sold it for before, and this is what we're selling it for now. We would love to hear those stories from you guys that are out there.
All right, so that's it for today's podcast. And just want to mention that if you know a misfit that should be on this show that would fit in with the Marketing Misfits, please reach out to us, and we'll reach out to them and try to get them on the podcast. But as for now, Kevin, what do you got to say? Anything?
Ciao. Word up. Out.
See you later, guys.